some questions and kind of go over what people are struggling with. So, okay, so what I wanted to start with, oh wait, hold on. Okay, we're recording. What I wanted to start with is this business is all about relationships. It's really not about selling anything. Beachbody has infomercials and tons of ways to sell Beachbody. So what's cool about being a coach is we're selling ourselves. Like, that's what this business is about. And so we're there to inspire people. We show up every day on our Facebook pages, and we sell ourselves to help people, like, motivate them, get started on their fitness journey. So if we're not building the relationships, we're not going to go very far in this business. That's why the messaging and the creating the relationship is really everything. It can be just a teeny little tweak that you need to do in the message that you're sending out to people that can just flip everything around to be like, oh my gosh, now I'm making a huge deal. So, and your posts on your Facebook page are a big, big deal. So if somebody were to go to your Facebook page, would they, in their first 5 scrolls down, your first 5 posts, would they know kind of who you are and what you're all about? Would they be able to see that you have something to offer? And would they be able to see, like, it's not really about blasting Beachbody, but it's about sharing who we are and letting people get to know us. And because a lot of people, like, I had somebody come to me on Saturday that I've never had one conversation with. She has been following me for 9 months, and she just watches me. And through my post on my Facebook page, she knew all of my kids' names. She knew everything about me. And she's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I know your kids and I know your family and I know. And that's what you kind of want people to feel like when they come to your page, is they know you and they trust you. And then when you go to invite them to whatever you have going on, then they're like, heck yeah, because I've been watching you. You show up every single day. You are a real person. You have a life. You have this busy life. You have kids. You have whatever you have going on in your life. And then you want to talk to the people that you want to be targeting. So, like, Lisa, you have a really great niche because you're a grandma. You have something a little different than a lot of us that have, like, little younger kids and our busy lives, because you're talking to someone totally different than we're talking to.
That's right.
And a lot of times we feel like we're just talking to all of Facebook, like we're just talking to whoever's going to listen. But what we really need to hone in on is who we're talking to. And when you do your posts and when you do your messages, it's got to be totally directed to that person that you're wanting to talk to. So, and with like Lisa having grandkids, and like, just share that life and your lifestyle and all about your grandkids and how you're staying active. Like, that's amazing to me. I hope that when I am a grandma, I'm way active and I can play with my grandkids. And
you will, sweetie, you will.
And that's what a lot of people, like, they just kind of figure it's in their head that I'm old and I'm a grandma and now I'm just going to go downhill, instead of, yeah.
Not happen.
Yeah. So you have an awesome niche that you can really market to. And so a couple things, because I've been watching you, a couple things I'm just going to help you with that you could do just a little bit different is you love yoga, which is super awesome. Talk about PiYo, because PiYo's a Beachbody program, and they'll realize that, it's something that you can offer them, something that you're doing that's like a program, because anybody can go to the gym and do it. Anybody can, you know what I mean? It's more really focusing on the Beachbody program that you're doing. Because what's crazy is I've done so many. Like I started with PiYo, 21 Day Fix, Extreme, Max 30. Like I've done so many. And the program that I'm doing at the time, because I'm sharing all about it, I'm sharing the workouts, I'm sharing what I love about it, my struggles with it. That's the program that people come to me to buy because they're watching me do it at that moment. So, so if you're talking about PiYo and talking about it, like not just yoga, but PiYo and your workouts and how it's a little faster pace than yoga, but it burns more calories because it's kind of like this fast-paced Pilates yoga, you know. Then people get like interested in like, oh my gosh, what is this PiYo? You know, I want to know more about what she's doing. So really being a product of our product, like our programs, our Shakeology, is huge. And what I've noticed with Shakeology is you do kind of just got to really learn what it's all about. But what I've found is I don't have a lot of people really drilling me about Shakeology because I'm so passionate about what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. Like I share how I feel and how much energy I have and how it's changed me from the inside out. And then when I'm selling them a challenge pack, it's just like a no-brainer. Like they don't ask me about it. I've had a couple people maybe ask me more questions and I'll just send them a video about Shakeology. But if you're really sharing about the product and how it's helped you, they're not going to really drill you about, oh, it's just a protein shake or, you know.
What video did you share with Shakeology, Katie?
There is in this. Do you use the script at all for the?
I have.
So there's a part in there that tells like Shakeology is another part of this. It cleanses you out. I mean, it just explains what Shakeology does, and then it says here's kind of a cheesy video about Shakeology, and it just goes through all the ingredients and kind of you'd have to buy all of this to get this one little bag of Shakeology. So I usually just use that same video, and people don't really ask me questions. They just say, okay, awesome, you know. So
I get tons of people say it's just a protein drink. That's what they're saying. It's just a high expensive protein drink.
Well, and
it's not. It's a replacement of a meal.
Yeah. And that might be your age range too that you're speaking to, because they are a little more.
I know.
Lisa, one thing that I have started doing more, if somebody does question me about it and say, you know, oh, it's just another protein drink, I ask them what they're currently drinking or what protein shake they're currently using, and you can find on like Google comparisons of Shakeology and tons of other products. And I will show them how, no, it's completely different than what you're drinking. So what you're drinking doesn't have all of these other vitamins and minerals in it. What you're drinking doesn't have the same superfoods. And what you are drinking is artificial flavors, artificial ingredients.
That's what I tried to explain. Yep.
You know, and so I will do like an actual side-by-side comparison of Shakeology and whatever they're drinking. I'll ask them to actually send me the nutrition label sometimes.
Okay.
And not like in a confrontational way, just say, oh, I would love to see, what are you drinking? And I'll send them the Shakeology fact sheets as well. And most people then are like, oh, it is really different.
Yeah.
And one thing that I talked with both my mother and my mother-in-law about is the fact that like they can replace a lot of their vitamins and supplements that they're taking because they're taking a lot.
Too many? Way too many.
Yeah, and so I showed them how by drinking this they could get rid of a lot of their supplements, and it ended up saving them money, really.
Exactly. That's where I'm at too.
Yeah. Okay, so and then I just wanted to, so Lisa, do you care if I go over your message that you send to people? and kind
Do
of...
I what? I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Do you care if I go over your message that you send to people and kind of tell you how you could do it a little different?
Yeah, I do on some. Some I have. I think my script's too long, and I think you need to make it a little less and more personal, and really, really point out the Shakeology and what the nutritions are. That's what I'm going to do this next bit.
Okay.
Is that a good start?
It is, and this is what I would do. Okay, so your message, it is really long, and it goes right into inviting them. Where you want to have a conversation back and forth a few times before you really invite them. You want to be more interested in what's going on in their life and what they need and what their goals are, and then you can tell them what you have to offer, you know, whether it be just the challenge pack. Like, it doesn't have to be really the coaching opportunity right off the bat. A lot of people need to have like an amazing transformation or have a great experience in a challenge group before they're like, yeah, I want to help other people with this too.
Okay.
So sometimes, like with the marketing calendar that Shelly made, so for the first 2 weeks, I really focus on challenge groups, and I try to fill a challenge group by the second or third Monday of the month, depending on what I have going on with my schedule. But so I'm posting about my challenge groups. I'm inviting, like when I invite people, I am just asking them, do you have any health and fitness goals you're working on? Like, I really get to know them. I go to their page, I look and see kind of what they've been up to. I like and comment on some of their posts. Then when I message them, then it's real personal. I tell them, oh my gosh, you look like you had the funnest trip with your family to whatever they have going on. Like,
right.
I got back from Disneyland, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you look like you just got back from the funnest trip. How was it? And I have this conversation far before I send them anything about that I'm a Beachbody coach, because a lot of the times if you send them this big long message, they don't know you.
I love them.
They're not gonna, the first thing, or they're like, oh, she's trying to sell me something, or then they're gone. So it really is all about forming people and building friendships and relationships far before you tell them anything about what you have going on.
Okay,
so,
that makes sense.
What I like to do, sorry, my phone's ringing. What I like to do is I get a list of 10 people that on my friends list that I haven't talked to or really seen in my newsfeed for a while. So I'll go through my friends list and I'll pick 10 people and I write them on a list and I go to their page, like and comment on their posts for a few days. Like, I will go check them out for a few days in a row. Then I'll send them a message and say, oh my gosh, I'm loving watching your cute kids, or, you know, whatever they have going on. And say, by the way, I have this fitness and nutrition boot camp getting ready to start. Is that something that you or anyone you know might be interested in? Do you have any health and fitness goals that you're working on? So I will kind of form them 2 or 3 days before I ever really send them a message. And just like, so they start seeing me like their posts and seeing me comment on their posts. And then once I'm interacting with them, they're going to start interacting with my posts. It happens all the time. Like, I don't see them commenting on anything of mine, but as soon as I show interest in them, they start showing interest in me. And then through this, I'm showing them that I care, and then they're checking out my posts and they're seeing, oh, she's got a challenge group coming up next week. They're seeing my posts that are going on. Oh, look at her workout. Look at these awesome recipe ideas that she has going on. And then by then, in a couple days when I do invite them, then they already know what I'm about and that I have something to offer and that I care about them, and that, you know what I mean? It's not just like, I'm not really doing cold invites. I'm forming people and creating relationships.
Relationships first. I get it. Yep.
And so, because that just builds they trust you, they believe in you, and they're seeing you. So, Ashley, did you have any questions you wanted me to go over?
No, I was just wondering, like, how long it takes, like, how long you usually wait before you invite them, like, when you build the relationships?
I really don't wait a long time, like maybe 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
In those 2 to 3 days, I am really paying attention to their page. Like several times a day, I'll go like their posts or comment on things, and then every day I pick 10 new people. So
okay.
I have the 10 the day before, the 10 new, and I always have 10 new people that I interact with. So after like the first, it just kind of depends on how fast it takes them to start really interacting with me. And sometimes it's like immediately they're over there liking, commenting, and so immediately I'll say, hey, I see we have a lot in common, and I have this group coming up, and I'd love to have you in it if you are interested. And I'll just kind of tell them what I have going on, or do you know of anyone? I always ask for referrals too, because I've had several people send people to me, and they aren't ready, but they have a friend that is like totally ready to jump in. So just always have like 5 to 10 new people that you're going and checking on, because I think a lot of times we post and we think all of our friends are seeing everything we post. But the truth is, if you're not interacting with them, they don't see anything you're posting. So the second you start showing interest in their page, then Facebook will start showing them your page. So that is huge to really make lists every day of new people and interact with them. And sometimes I even invite them the very next day, because they're super like into my page, or sometimes they'll come right over to my page and see my invite for my challenge group and message me and say, oh my gosh, I didn't know that you did this. I have been looking for something. And so that's why it's so important too, to follow the marketing calendar, or if you have your own way, but always have within the 5 posts, have something that shows them that you have something coming up that you have to offer. Because if they just scroll your page and see just tons of stuff that means nothing about Beachbody, or nothing about your challenge groups, or nothing about coaching, then they're not going to reach out to you. Where a lot of times I do have people just come to me, and after I've been messaging on their page, and they're like, yeah, I'm ready. I didn't even know you did this. And so it really doesn't take a long time. And then like the second 2 weeks when I am working on finding coaches, then I really don't take a long time with that either. Like if I find somebody that I'm like checking out their page and liking their stuff, and I see that they're into fitness, and then it doesn't take me long to just send them a message and say, so you are already doing pretty much everything I'm doing, and I'm getting paid for it. Would you ever think about becoming a Beachbody coach? With that, or would you want more information? I have a sneak peek coming up that I would love to add you into if you're interested. And so it's totally fine to just invite people, like recruit and find people. If you know somebody that would be a killer coach, go after them. Tell them, like, I want you on my team. One thing that I loved, I listened to this call the other day by Megan E. Wilson, and she was saying, like, when I go to somebody that I want on my team, she's like, I have a list of people that I call my dream team. And I tell them, she's like, when I message them, I say, this is why I want you on my team. And she tells them, like, you are so fun. You have the personality for this. You love to help people. And you're on my dream team list. Like, I think we would work amazing together. She just tells them exactly why she wants them. And right off the bat, they know that she believes in them. They kind of like are like, oh my gosh, she wants me. This is huge. I would love, So don't be shy about just reaching out and telling people how great you think they are, how awesome of a Beachbody coach you think they would be. And when you're reaching out about the coaching opportunity and inviting to the sneak peeks and stuff like that. What else? Amy, was there something else I was going to go over?
One thing I would just say, I think for me, because I haven't been doing this that long. I started in May from watching Melissa. And the one thing is, obviously there are a lot of Beachbody coaches. And like, I'm amazed even more now. I'm seeing so many more in my news feeds. So what is going to differentiate you?
Good question.
Why is someone going to choose you? And that's where, I really had to kind of put blinders on. Because when I started, I was like, oh, okay, well, I've just seen Melissa's posts. So I'm going to start following all of these other Beachbody coaches. And then it was like, oh, I should be posting like that, or I should be posting like that. And even like I did that last month, honestly. I kind of got caught up in, oh, I need to be posting just like this person because that's what they're saying. They're saying that I should be posting like that. So I kind of changed the way I was posting. And guess what? I wasn't as successful and I didn't have fun. I hated it. So as soon as I went back to posting like me and how I post, I started getting people messaging me, and not even me having to message people. They started coming back to me because I was authentically me.
You're real.
Yeah, exactly. And which is for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, I share it all. Yeah. So Katie and I talked, and do that with your challenge group. So Katie and I talked this morning. So I have been sucking hardcore. Like, I have been doing awful on my nutrition. To the point that, like, with my challenge group, I wasn't even posting in my accountability at the end of the night because I was like, y'all do not want to see what I ate today because it was not pretty. Okay. Like, I'm giving my all to my workouts, but my nutrition has sucked. And so do you know what? This morning I filmed a video for my challenge group and I said, all right, I'm putting it out there. Life is hard sometimes. And this journey is hard sometimes. I have been gaining weight. I've been gaining weight the last few weeks. Why? Because I'm not sticking to my diet. Why am I not sticking to my diet? I don't know. I have stories in my head about why I'm not doing it, but they're just stories. I'm just not doing it. And I told my group today, I said, you know what, you guys, I'm done with that. I am recommitting to my program today, not on Monday. I'm recommitting today, and I'm going to start following my plan right now. And I want you guys to hold me accountable. So I said that in my challenge group today. And what people posted underneath it, what my challengers posted underneath that was, do you know what? That is why I chose you as my Beachbody coach versus everyone else that I saw. Because you're real, you're honest, you were willing, you're willing to tell us when you're sucking. And that's why we want to do this. So take people on your journey with you. So, for me, for Lisa, if I know that PiYo is not yoga, it's not. And that may be a struggle for you, where you love yoga so much. PiYo is very different. Mm-hmm. But do you know what? That is all part of your story. And part of what you're doing and part of why you're doing it. And to show that, do you know what? I'm committed to doing this, even if it's not something that I love, even if it's something that's going to push me out of my comfort zone. And you post that. You post about it every day. You post your journey. You post everything that you're learning. I think that I do have, like, the good thing for me is that I have quite a bit of weight that I needed to lose, and that I've lost like 70 pounds, and want to lose another like 30 to 40. So that has actually been good, that people have been able to see a pretty big transformation. But it's not over, and it'll still continue. And the one thing that I would say, and I saw, Lisa, I think you posted something in it to where you try to do personal development as much as you can. That is like a non-negotiable for me.
I know. That's what I've got to work on too.
That is the one thing, like personal development, which sounds like it sounds so crazy to me. And I thought that when I first joined. Personal development is pivotal. And whatever book I am reading, whatever thing that I do, I weave it into what I'm doing. So right now I'm reading Abundance Now, and I weave that into my posts, because those nuggets that you're pulling out, somebody else needs to hear it. So
that makes sense, Amy.
You know, and I really think, I don't know if you ever listen to the National Wake Up Calls, but Bonnie Engel, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, said, don't keep someone else's destiny in your mouth. Be willing to say it, be willing to share it, and just be authentic and be you.
Okay.
And that, because honestly, that's the hard part, and that's the scary part. When I did my first like authentic post, and I posted about my struggles, and I posted about, always being overweight, I like hit post and I closed my computer and I put my phone down and I walked away, because it scared the crap out of me. And within, do you know what? Within an hour or 2 hours, I went back to it, and I had over 100 likes. I had over 100 comments of support and people loving on me. So the scary posts are the ones that need to happen. And if you go into it, this is my other little soapbox. As you can tell, like, I'm very passionate this morning, because like I was having a down day, and now I'm like,
Me too, Amy. Me
and
too.
I had my Energize like 6 hours ago, and I'm still like, okay. So the last thing that I will say is just for like a personal tip. What I do every morning, right when I get up, for me, because I am spiritual, I read my scriptures and I read my personal development, and I say a prayer, and I say, help me help someone today. Whether they buy a stupid challenge pack or not, I don't care. Help me say something that will help someone else today. And by doing that, that's how I've been successful. And that's how I've been able to hit, over Success Club 10 every month since I started. Because my goal is to help someone, whether they buy something or not. I don't care. But if I can say something to help make their day better, then I've done my purpose. So I truly think that if you go with that attitude, it comes, and people will see how authentic and real you are.
Love it.
Thank you so much. Love it.
So, and now I'm off my soapbox.
Okay, so we have like 5 minutes left before this shuts off, but I have something that might help you guys. So like she was saying, the story-based posts are huge. I mean, the stories that you tell are where people are going to feel like they know you, trust you, believe in you, and they're going to follow your journey, because they're going to want to keep following and seeing what's going on with you. So I want you to like set a timer for 5 minutes and write a list of words, of as many words as you can write down, of why you love being a Beachbody coach, or why you're happy that you joined Beachbody, or what this experience has done for you. And just write words. And then with every single word, write a story about the word. So then you will have a whole bunch of stories. You just need to be like the storyteller of your life and tell about your struggles. Tell about, you know, what you struggled with, why you became a coach, what this has helped you with, and figure out several different ways of telling your story or different stories that you have that has led you to here. And then when you need like a challenge group post, or I know with my challenge group post, when I post just like, I'm looking for 10 women and la la la, this is what I'm going to provide for you, I get really nothing. Like I might get 2 or 3 likes. When I tell a story of what has changed about me, what has, you know, from the inside out, how my mind's changed, how my body's changed, how I'm happier, how I have, if I tell a whole story and then at the end say, and I have 5 spots left in my challenge group, who's ready to get started with me? I get way more interaction. People actually read my post instead of saying, oh, she's looking for 10 people and la la la, I'm moving on, you know? So really get a bunch of stories. Like even if you just had to spend, you know, write a story a day, keep it in like an Evernote file or a note file on your phone, whatever you want to do, but have all of these stories you can go to, and then you can just create pictures of yourself with, you know, and just add different pictures to these stories. You can reuse the stories, but you've got to tell your story and you've got to let people know what you're all about. So you've got to post you. It's got to be you out there. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, my whole page is me, like another selfie, I'm just out there all over the place. But it's kind of like, it's how people feel like they know me. Like I have people out of the blue just be like, oh my gosh, Katie, I feel like we're like sisters and I've never met you, you know? And I'm like, because they see me 50 times a day in their newsfeed, whether they want to or not. And they're reading my story.
Yeah, Katie and I were talking. So I have had people stop me at Costco.
Oh my gosh, Amy.
I have people stop me like walking. Like they're like, oh my gosh, I was in your clean eating group and you're awesome. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And my kids are like, Mom, you're popular? Like, yeah, it took me like 30 years, but I finally hit popularity. Like, but do you know what? Those are the people that I've never had any interaction with. They're watching me.
I get that too.
They're watching what you do. And that's why it's so important to tell the stories like Katie was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that too. Even at the school, they see me at my post and they just say, oh, you're the one that does the yoga and the Pilates. Oh, you're the one that is a grandma of 5 kids. So I know they're watching. I know that. I get comments like, you're so inspirational. Keep doing what you're doing. It's great for you, but just not for me.
Yeah. So I hope we covered some good stuff that will help you guys. Just be consistent with your 5 vital behaviors. Make new friends. Reach out to 10 new people every single day so they start seeing your posts. And invite like a crazy person. Just whether it be if you're messaging to just be friends. I mean, just start inviting like crazy. Whatever you have coming up. Right now I'm still finishing up doing like challenge group stuff, but next week I'm going to flip the switch and I'm going to be talking all about my sneak peek. So you guys can invite to our sneak peek on the 22nd. We're going to be doing a sneak peek just a one day. And then that night we're going to do a live webinar that they can get on. So be thinking about that next week, just really talking about coaching and inviting to our sneak peek. And if you guys have any questions, like feel free to message, post it into the team page, whatever, and I'll answer whatever. But focus on your story, focus on what you're posting, and focus on what you're messaging people, and really create relationships. That's where it's going to grow your business is through relationships. So